Uh, Chinmay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you're able to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll wait for some time. Uh, if people, like more people join, that's better. Otherwise, we'll start in 5 6 minutes, 5 minutes max. So, uh, yeah. Chinmay, you were not there in the last class, na? My class.
Oh, yes, sir. I was not there. I was out of station.
Yeah, yeah. So, can you introduce yourself since we are not doing anything else?
Yeah, sir, definitely, sir. I'm Chinmay and I'm currently pursuing mechanical engineering from Mumbai. I mean, from Vilepale, Dwarkadas Sangvi College of Engineering. And I'm currently in my third year, in sixth semester, pursuing mechanical engineering. And I'm interested to further pursue it in the fields of machine manufacturing and industrial engineering.
And
Industrial engineering.
so that's why you took this course.
Yeah, that's the main reason I took this course. I also enrolled for other courses, but I seem to be interested in this course. Just glance to various sub options, or you can say curriculum through this course. So got interested in it, and so eventually I enrolled for this course.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So you're from Mumbai only, or you're from you're
Yeah,
settled
I'm
in
from
Mumbai?
Mumbai only, sir.
Okay. How is weather there nowadays? Actually, I'm from Pune, so
Yeah,
Mumbai is not that.
I recently I mentioned you about that. I mentioned you before that I was out of station. I recently visited Pune at my brother's place, so that's the main reason I couldn't attend it. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
yeah, the weather is fine. I mean, it's the normal weather, humidity, and nothing else. The same temperature, nothing else. No cold here, nothing.
Okay. No, no heat also, right?
In heat is there. It is there. It's there. It's quite a lot during afternoon. Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay, okay. So anyway, so I think it's 7:06 now. So let me check. If nobody is there in the lobby, we'll just get away with it. Yeah, I think we can just start now.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so uh, welcome Chinmay to this class. Oh, as soon as we are about to start, someone is in the lobby. Anyway, Himanshu is in the lobby. Actually, last time there were more people, but they usually come slowly. Himanshu, can you hear me?
Yes.
Were you in the last class?
No.
So please introduce yourself briefly.
Yeah. So myself, Himanshu Trivedi. I am from Vadodara, Gujarat.
Okay. Okay. And are you a student or working professional? What is it?
I am working professional. I am from HR background.
Oh, HR.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually today some part will be from HR also. One of the major heads for any
Mm.
organizations, human resources.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
so yeah, so you work where? In which organization?
I am leading HR team at Vinda Renewables. It is a company which is into wind sector,
Okay.
and our company produces uh, towers for windmills. It is in
Okay.
Baroda.
Oh, Baroda and Vadodara are nearby only,
No,
or
it is the
they are.
same. It is the same. It
Oh, same
is,
two
yeah,
names.
it is the same.
Oh, like Madras, Chennai. Okay.
Yeah. Madras, Chennai.
Yeah. So then, what is your motivation behind taking these classes or this course per se?
Basic motivation behind taking this course is like, after around 12 years of experience, I understood that industrial engineering, most of the bosses which I dealt are engineers.
Okay.
And industrial engineering can be a very good, complementary to the HR processes,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because it would be a good mix for engineering and human kind of aspects, and I think so it should be part of each and every HR curriculum. That is thing.
Okay.
honestly, because understanding the whole layout, to understanding every aspects of how shifts are done, how manpower planning is done, what is
Mm-hmm.
how you can devise incentive plans and other things. So
Mm-hmm.
it is very
Yeah.
it is very required actually.
Understood. Understood. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I hope this discussion will help you in some way. So, I think we should start now. We are at 7:10. Uh, so, uh, both Chinmay and Himanshu, you were not there in the last class. So, I'll first introduce myself. My name is Akshay. I'm currently pursuing my PhD from Mechanical Engineering Department of ISC Bangalore. I hope you might have heard about this college. And here we get a fellowship. So for that, we have to take weekly classes for various courses related to mechanical engineering. So because of that, uh, today I'm here, and today we'll be discussing about the second week assignment, which essentially uh, dealt with some important topics such as different type of organization structures, different type of if you have a new product, there are different phases in the product life, so which we call as product life cycle management. So those kind of things are there. Then there are organizational roles where by various departments or various functionalities, and there are different type of structures, different type of cultures, and those sort of things were covered in this week by Professor Dwivedi in the last week. So I'll be, if you don't know what I do generally, I'm supposed to discuss some 10 questions with everyone, and before, like, the way I do this is I usually recap whatever was taught in the last week briefly, not into the depth because that will take a lot of time. And along the way, I'll discuss the questions that are associated with the said relevant concept. So it won't be directly take question and give answer. So because that way this 10 question will be finished in 10 minutes also. So and that won't help anyone because as far as I concern, I think this industrial engineering is more or less, you can guess also correct answers because if you have worked somewhere, if you have some industrial exposure, you have common sense to answer these questions. But if you get the whole idea or the purpose behind asking that particular question, then it makes much more sense to attend these type of classes. So on that note, let me just start. Uh, so first topic that was taught in the last week by professor was there are different type of one second. So first was regarding coordination. I hope my handwriting is understandable. If not, please let me know. I'll change. So regarding the coordination, there are three types of coordination. Options are there in industry. First is direct, as the name suggests. In this type of coordination arrangement, directly manager will talk to another manager or supervisor will talk to different teams supervisor. So that kind of structure is there for coordination. But as you can imagine, this type of coordination scheme is not practical if your organization is too big or at too many places, something like that. So this type of coordination scheme is essentially for small organization, which is like SME, small businesses, etc., where you have a single plant. Uh, Jay Prakash has joined. Jay Prakash, can you mute yourself? Yeah. So direct coordination is prevalent in small businesses. Then there is a liaison type of arrangement. Let me just check the spelling. I don't want to make a mistake here. Yeah. So there is one more I between here. So essentially, I think it is a French word. So this is basically uh, uh, you will have one team, let's say manufacturing team. It will be spearheaded by a manager or manufacturing manager, production engineer, or something like that. The name will be there. So that manager will talk to the other team's manager, and then if required, they'll include other people from various teams. So that type of arrangement is there in liaison coordination scheme, and this type of thing will work for a even bigger type of organization where there are a number of lot of teams or something like that. And then finally it is teams. So mostly this is like a new type of concept, I think, in startups and all, which rely on different teams operating remotely. So those kind of organizations have coordination through the teams only. So they'll not have a dedicated manager or anything, but they'll have a certain communication channel where you can participate as a team. So that was one part. Then there was some discussion about uh, authority, responsibility, and accountability. So I mean uh, these things are uh, quite understood. So basically, authority means uh, if you're a manager or if you're a supervisor, the people that you're dealing with, the task that they are supposed to do, those things are under your authority, and you can question them if they are not doing. So that is their responsibility. Again, you'll have some key performing KPIs or something like that. So you need to you will be held responsible by others or by yourself also for those responsibilities. And then the accountability is there. So if anything mishap happens or something like that, so you'll be accountable. If the targets are not met, then you'll be accountable. So basically, this authority and responsibility you can delegate, but delegate to lower levels. But this not uh, possible to delegate. So basically, uh, you have to manage your things so that you'll be not held accountable for any wrong things. So regarding this, I have only one quote which I heard long time back somewhere. I'm not sure where I heard it, but it goes something like that, something like this. Uh, Authority without responsibility is dangerous, and responsibility without authority is meaningless. So I think this was a very famous quote by uh, some very old historian, like some king or somewhere. So essentially, if you give someone some responsibility but they don't have any authority, so that's just waste of time and waste of resources. And if you give someone authority without any responsibility, that's very dangerous for everyone. So anyway, moving on. Then there was discussion about roles of different roles of uh, various departments, you can say. I will need uh, your help in this. Maybe one by one we can just go. So first of all, let's start with HR, since we have Himanshu from HR. So, Himanshu, can you list down or tell me some 3-4 functions that are very important for HR person in any organization?
First of all, it is talent acquisition.
Yeah.
Second is training and development.
Yeah. I think you are missing one important important job here.
And performance appraisal.
Yeah, appraisal are also there. Essentially, you can include this in records. I mean, not
Yeah.
only appraisal, but other things are also there, like
Then
your.
industrial relations.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's
And
yeah,
compensation
okay,
and benefits.
yeah. So basically, it's I mean, whatever things are associated with human or the employees that are there in the organization that are there. One thing is, I was expecting it to come up quite early was let's say payroll. So
Selection and recruitment.
yeah, so basically your salaries and wages. So things related to that, your performance bonuses or other incentives, those come under this category. Then there are welfare of employees, which include labor relations and the contracts with labor unions, etc. Health, health of your. I mean, comes under safety as well as HR. So basically, that type of thing. So more or less, it covers the job and this morale of the employees. Because I mean, if any festival or any auspicious occasion is there, so HR will organize some sort of recreational activities, annual visit, those type of activities which will help in recreation of the workforce as well as team building exercises. So that is more or less what HR does. Then another important thing is what I feel is, uh, let's go to manufacturing. So can anybody tell me what are the key responsibilities of manufacturing department in any organization?
To manufacture any product according to the required design from the design team or
Okay.
material procurement,
Okay.
and
So
to
what you first said is this. It broadly comes under production planning and control. So as you correctly said, each I mean the demand and supply team will have monthly target or short term, long term targets for each year. Accordingly, they'll divide the demand or demand into subcategories, and that will be given to the manufacturing team, and they have to do production planning. This includes, as you said, inventory. You'll have to have raw materials ready at the time of production. You'll have to have machines ready. So one important thing is maintenance. So periodic maintenance, periodic shutdown of manufacturing plant, etc. And under
Quality control.
cost reduction.
Yeah, 1 second. This control, production planning and control. So control essentially includes
Quality
quality
control.
control. So your product should be as per the legal standards, as per the ethical standards, and most of all, it should not harm your end user. And another control can be waste reduction, recyclability. So that type of control can also be included in this head. Then there is
Safety
uh,
and compliance.
yeah. So safety can also be, you can say, the safety in the on the manufacturing floor, that also comes under this. Environmental aspects are also there. environmental
Cost
safety.
reduction.
Yeah, actually, cost reduction is everywhere, but cost reduction through proper production planning and control, proper maintenance, proper allocation of work, whatever manpower you have. As Himanshu, I think, as Himanshu suggested initially, for any production manager, the first task in the morning when he or she reaches the plant is to assign jobs to all the workers. So that that part is also under manufacturing department, and it is a very crucial part because you'll have to maximize your output with given number of employees. So that also comes under this head only. Then one more important head is finance. So uh, what do you do? What do you think? What finance does in any organization?
Uh,
Any-
Taking out the budget required to make the product, or managing the uh,
Yeah, yeah.
logistics part type, you can say, or checking the availability of materials in the market.
Uh, the checking of the availability is not finance department's job. That will be checked by somebody else. And if you have multiple options, the finance department will finalize the cheapest one or the one which is satisfying all the criteria. So anyway, so budget control is the correct answer because let's say if you have I mean, let's talk small. If you have a production plant, for every year you'll have some activities which are operations related. So for that you'll have to have some sort of budget. Then you'll have some activities in which you'll be spending capital for expansion or some other exploratory ventures. So for that also you need to allocate budget, and that is allocation of budget. Then the second thing is how do you get that budget. So you'll need to contact lenders, investors, etc. So that type of activities come under budget control. Then there is important head of taxes. Uh, I remember when I was working in one of the companies, this GST was newly employed. Nowadays it is common, but I think it was 17 or 16. That time GST was introduced. I think I'm maybe wrong, maybe a year or so wrong. But anyway, so when this GST came, the old tax regime was, let's say for organization, I'm talking, not the personal ones, because GST is important for organizations. So that time, I remember the tax department was undergoing a lot of stressful nights and days. So essentially, whatever legal compliances are there and whatever dues are there, which come under taxes head, that finance department figures out and they take care of that. Then there is, one broadly you can say assets versus liabilities kind of uh, record keeping and tracking. Your assets should not be very low or your liability should not go out of hand. So all those things they keep track of. And other things like maintaining accounts of employees, uh, accounts of vendors, accounts of different people who are related to your plant, uh, and reporting your numbers every specific interval of time. You have to report your numbers to the corporate office. So all those things are taken care of finance. uh, Apart from that, one more important head, I mean there are many, but yeah, we'll just go quickly through it because it will take a lot of time. So let's say sales. This is also very important. So can you just tell me what the sales department primarily does in the organization? I mean, I'm talking marketing and sales together. Let's club them because we have limited amount of time. So, yeah, anybody?
Sales planning.
Okay, so I think they call it forecasting. I think the correct term should be forecasting. I mean, yeah, the supply and demand management, those projections they do for a certain period of time so that other teams can plan accordingly. Then they do
Sales
advertise.
performance analysis.
Pardon?
Sales performance and analysis.
Yeah. I mean, I think that should come under forecasting head only. Just major things like second thing is advertisement. Uh, so uh, you know uh, where to advertise it, which market segment is to be targeted, when to do it, if you want to do it, how will you do it, and what all the resources you need for it. So all those things they need to figure it out. Uh, then they need to do market research. Uh, so for this, they employ generally some outside contractors which have experience in market research, and then they'll have to decide where to employ these market research teams, because as you know, India is a very uh, you know uh, varied country, you can say. So according to the demographic, geographic location, the things will change. So those market research related things they'll do. uh, Again, the distribution planning. I mean, essentially, I'm clubbing it here, but there is a separate department in any organization, big organization, where the logistics is taken care by some dedicated team. And one more important will be customer service. So,
Customer service.
yeah. So, wherever it's a legal requirement for any product to give you a uh, number or any sort of means where you can reach out to them for any grievances. That is legal in India. So those things are also taken care by sales department. Also pricing. So whatever products you are uh, making, finance and sales department will decide the pricing for that. But majorly sales will have the say because they need to do all the branding, advertisement, etc., etc. Since we are talking about advertisement, any one of you, have you seen any advertisement for Tesla?
No.
No, sir.
No,
Yeah,
sir.
so typically, I mean, this is, I think, the unique feature of Tesla is uh, they don't spend any money for advertising, as per, say, for the Tesla brands. Their whole advertising is Elon Musk. And
Twitter.
that's, yeah, so that's why that guy has bought the Twitter. So as long as Elon Musk is in news, these Tesla, SpaceX, etc., they'll have their advertising taken care of. So usually Tesla won't do any advertisement like Maruti or Honda or Hyundai. So that is there. People say that the money that they save from advertisement, they use it for R&D for their electric cars. I don't know. So anyway, so that is there. Then let's say, uh, as we are talking research and development, so everybody knows these guys have to do research. uh, like uh, I mean, I also fall under to this category only. So anyway, so as expected, you'll have to solve problems, and these are usually unique problems. So basically, if some machine related problem is there, engineering team will take care or the maintenance team will take care because they have experience of handling those machines over number of years. But let's say if there is a problem in the process of making certain product itself, which is out of purview of, let's say, engineering team or production team, so that's where this research and development team comes in, and they are supposed to give you solutions to the unique problems, as well as breakthrough uh, technologies. Breakthrough they have to look for. So uh, I mean, these won't happen on a daily basis, and that is not expected also. But for example, we can talk about this 4G, 5G, those things that are going on nowadays. So these things are essentially under, I mean, these breakthrough technologies are because of the R&D of the people uh, that are working in that organizations. And I think the last one should be, I mean, engineering team. You know what engineering team does. Essentially, it's uh, primarily it is maintenance team, but they can design and development their own, concepts also. It's not only maintenance. And last but not least is the legal one. I think we have covered more, I mean, most of it. So, legal team first, patents, these copyrights, this all those proprietary rights, etc., etc. Legal compliances. So, uh, you you'll have a customer service team, but if there is some customer who is not satisfied with your customer service, they can go to the customer courts, consumer courts, and then you'll have those legal cases, etc. Those things legal team takes care of. I think legal team is responsible for other important things like acquisitions, mergers, and the legality of it. Uh, Other than that, yeah, I think majorly legal team does these jobs. Uh, can you tell me if I'm missing something regarding legal? I think I'm covering most of it. Settlements also.
Sorry.
Hey,
Labor
you.
Contract.
problems.
They are also part of contract
Yeah,
making,
contracts. Yeah, yeah, contracts formatting, uh,
formatting contracts.
renewal. Those things are there. Yeah. So yeah, that is actually important. So yeah, I think more or less these things are covered under various heads for the in any organization. Then there was an important discussion about product life cycle. So uh, I mean, most of you might know uh, product life cycle. So as the name suggests, it is a life cycle of product, like any human or any animal. Products are also supposed to have some life cycles based on past experiences. The research have been done in this department. So essentially, it is a plot. On the x-axis, you have time. It can be a number of months, number of years, depending on the product that you are talking about. If it is let's say FMCG product like soap or shampoo, there the timeline will be in number of years. But if it is, let's say, technological products like, let's say, 4G service providers or 3G service providers, that sort of things. So what happens in technological, I mean, IT type of products, goods or services, the technology keeps evolving quite rapidly. So there the product life will be short as compared to any product like, let's say, cement plant or tobacco plant or anything which is quite usually used, which comes under this fast moving consumer goods type of category. So that's there. And on y-axis you can take number of units sold or manufactured, or any quantity that you want to measure the performance of this product in. So essentially, this product life cycle, there are some 2-3 questions in your assignment from here itself only. So that will mostly cover whatever I'm discussing here. So what happens? Essentially, initially, this, let's say, uh, initially you'll have some idea about any particular product. So it is entry level. So here what you do, you try out multiple things, but in small quantity, and you test out your expectations from this product. For example, whatever you desired from a product, is it giving you that? And then you go to a small set of consumers and test it out on the consumers. Uh, Good example for this was when before launching this Reliance Jio 4G product, uh, the this Reliance team, they gave 4G SIM cards to their employees for 1 year with I think 1 or 2 GB data per day. That type of whatever plan we use, it was more than that. And for 1 year, they did trial on different type of complexities that may arrive when they go for a proper launch. For example, if it is scaled to let's say national level, the demand will be huge, right? So they need to bring, sorry, I think I just remembered there is one more data head that we generally forgot, IT support. So nowadays, I'm sorry, we are going back again, but this was important because it was not discussed in class also. IT support is quite important because everything happens over mail, and in COVID, everything was happening over like these Teams, online meetings, etc. So for this, for that you need. I mean, almost all businesses nowadays need IT support. Small businesses may be managing with without IT back support. But if your organization is growing, this IT support is very crucial. So anyway, coming back to this product like life cycle. So entry level, you'll have different variety of products which will do the same job, and you'll try and test it out, which is working better, which is not. So for that, you'll have job shop type of layout. So in which you'll not have a dedicated product line, production line, etc. Dedicated plant. This is just inception of any product, and you are just trying to test the waters how every variety of that component is appealing to the customer or not, that type of thing. And then you'll do gradually, you'll figure out what type of products are appealing to the customers, and what type of products are giving you higher margins also. So all those calculations you'll do, and then you'll slowly start to grow the uh, number of units, so that the it can be sent out to the market. And then again, on a larger data set, you'll test out. Initially at the entry level, you tested out that for a small set of people, how is it responding. You did some market survey, you offered some free products, etc. But now what you do, you start one of the factories, you start one production line for this product itself, and then you send it out to various geographies, various demographics, and you take the feedback through the market research agencies. So then you figure out the correct price for that product, because now it is appealing to a larger set of customers. So you'll test out your pricing power as well. You'll gradually start increasing the price for that product, and you'll monitor the sales number. If the sales number are going up according to your price rise, then you are sure that people are buying this product, and they are willing to pay higher prices as well. So then you'll keep on increasing the price on regular interval, and then depending on other factors like economic condition of the country, inflation, etc., capital cost that you require for increasing the production of the particular product. And that's how it will go. And during this phase will be essentially called as growth phase. Essentially in this phase, uh, growth, I should use phase is a proper term. So this should be entry phase. One second. So yeah, and one more thing that to be noted here is when you're growing the production, your variety will go down. You'll figure it out that there is no point in producing this type of variant because it is not accepted by the customers, whereas some other variant is very high in demand, so you'll go for that product going forward. And you'll plan your expansion activities accordingly. So the variety will go down, but the quantity will go up. So in this case, you'll have batch type of sorry, you'll have batch type of production. So you'll have batches. You'll not have dedicated production line or dedicated plant as of yet. So you'll test it out the waters, and once you are confident that this product is accepted by the large majority of the uh, consumers, as well as the market competition is also conducive for expansion, in those cases you'll go for a proper, proper dedicated line for this type of product. So I'll denote it by, let's say, uh, red squares. So in this case, what happens? You'll keep on increasing your production capabilities, but after a point, the market will saturate. The demand will saturate, and then there is no point in increasing the supply, because that's harmful for you as an organization. You'll have larger inventory cost, larger production cost, and transportation cost, etc. So then there is a equilibrium in which you figure it out that for this particular product, if we manufacture this much quantity, more or less it will get consumed. So that type of analysis will come, and this is called as uh, mature phase or maturity phase. So essentially, the initial uncertainties, you have overcome them, and now you are confident that this product is good for this type of demographics, this type of time of the year or season, or this type of customer, etc. So then your productions will stabilize as long as there are no external factors. For example, COVID. So in case when the COVID came, for a year or so, all the manufacturing activities were shut off for health reasons. So when you analyze any product life cycle, take you have to correct these type of events. Otherwise, you will not have a proper data. What will happen? Uh, let's say you are monitoring some product and COVID came. So during that time, the number of production will go like this. And again, when the COVID was dealt with, the production will again saturate somewhere here. So I'm just trying to make a point here that when you do product life cycle analysis, you have to discount for such external factors which were not directly relevant for this product. So don't do that, otherwise you'll not get good idea about what this whole thing is about. Uh, then, in this maturity phase, you'll have a dedicated, product focused manufacturing line. So you'll manufacture single product, but here your objective will be to have production as fast as possible, delivery on time or before time, quality impeccable, above any market competitor, and cost which will be suitable for consumer. Otherwise, consumer will go for some other product. So this type of maturity phase will continue, and it depends on product. So that the length of the maturity phase is a function of the type of product is there, as well as the type of organization or the top level management, how they handle that product. Many a times, very good products also uh, go on out of market because of improper management decisions. For example, Nokia phones. So if you remember, in India, there was a time when almost all the market was captured by Nokia cell phones. But over the period of time, they made some choices. The top level management made some choices, because of which other competitors gained advantage, and now Nokia is not the market leader. They are there, but just there. So then the final phase will come when, if something goes wrong, and then what will happen is your demand will go down, and then to manage the cost of the production, etc., you'll reduce your production as well. You have to reduce, otherwise you'll be in loss. So this is called as 1 second. I think there is a term for this, but let's say we will call it as end of life phase, or phase out type of nomenclature is there. So here you have to figure out whether to continue with this product or just let it go away. So there are cases when product was towards the end of its cycle, it was relaunched with some additional features, etc., etc., and then the product, this thing again picked up, the demand again picked up. So it's not like whenever the product comes to its phase where it looks like it is end of shelf life for that, not the shelf life, end of life for that product, but not necessarily that is the end. So it can be revived, and it all depends on the it's a culmination of many factors. It's not that straightforward. So basically this is the overall product life cycle. I'll just for the sake of this discussion, I'll just take some questions which were this is called as decline phase as well. I mean, you can take anything you want. So one question is, and you need to answer this, any one of you. In which part of the product life cycle standardized product products with high volume are produced? Can you answer this one?
Growth stage, sir.
Maturity.
Yeah, so we have one maturity, we have growth. So one thing yeah, so the correct answer is maturity, because what happens is see, in growth phase, you'll gradually increase your volumes, but your processes will not be standardized. You'll be figuring out which variant to keep and which variant to shelve. So maturity, when the product reaches its maturity period, then only you go for standard dedicated production lines for that particular variant, and you produce in high volumes because you're confident enough that the product is accepted by the market. Then the next question is this thing. Yeah, it's a tricky question. The rate of production, the rate of consumption initiates to decrease at the end of the, and you have 4 options: growth, entry, growth, maturity, decline. So I mean, the language of the question is tricky. It's not a difficult question. So can you answer this one?
Growth stage, sir.
Maturity stage.
Yeah, the answer is maturity stage, because I mean, the language is tricky. If I ask you this straightforward, you will just able to answer this. So basically, what the question asks is, uh, uh, when does the rate of consumption starts to decrease? At what stage? At the end of what stage the rate of consumption starts to decrease? So it is at towards the end of maturity period and at the start of decline period. So there, rate of consumption it has asked. It's not consumption or something, rate. So basically, in maturity period, the rate is constant, so that you will have constant amount of, the rate is constant because you are continuously producing it, but at a one point of time, it is not accepted by market for whatever reason. So that's when the decline stage starts, but it is the end of maturity stage which is asked here. So it's a tricky question. These type of questions are usually asked in GATE exams. So anyway, so I think you will be able to answer all type of questions from this area. Uh, I'll just quickly go through this one thing that I eventually I touched upon it, but I'll just mention it here. Is that see there is one classification of production strategies. So one is customized versus, let's say, mixed, and versus standardized. So just by looking at the names, I think you'll have some idea about it. So can you just give me one example of customized production strategy? Which type of products usually use these type of customized strategy? Anything that comes to your mind, we'll discuss whether it's correct or not later. Anything?
That at what stage, what kind of products are used, you want to say?
Sir, any product, no?
So I could not hear you.
You want to give us example or something like that?
Yeah. One example.
Customized versus mixed versus standardized.
Yeah. So these are basically production strategies. So, can you just give one example in which the product
Sir,
is
a customized, you can take an example of a car, the design changes or there are some specifications. Like,
okay? So,
yeah.
1 second. So basically, customized cars. You can cars or bikes, anything is fine. And yeah, this is correct example. But I think the most relevant example is aeroplanes. Uh, so today only there was one news that Air India, which is owned by Tata nowadays, will buy 250 new planes from Airbus. I think Airbus or Boeing, whatever. So, so this airplane production, there are only two major companies in the world, Airbus and Boeing. So it's highly customized. It maybe you can watch some documentaries about it on Netflix or YouTube or somewhere. But these aeroplanes, we have some people working in the renewable energy sector. So this wind turbines. So these kind of products, they are highly customized to the consumer specification, and that is the nature. Not only, I mean, these basically these type of things fall under capital goods. So these are big projects, costly projects, which involve capital creation, capital expenditure, and there it is customized. You cannot have uh, dedicated production line to make a aeroplane. You can do for certain assemblies in the aeroplane, no doubt about it, because every aeroplane you'll have, fuel tank, wings, cockpit, engines. So those things are there, but there are like many more things which are customized as per the requirement of that specific airlines. So that is one example of customized. So you can understand the waiting time will be there for these type of products. Cost will be secondary. Primary will be the quality of the product and the timely delivery. These type of priorities are there. Cost is secondary. And one more thing important for these type of production strategies is uh, you need to have flexibility, because to make an aeroplane, uh, it is not as if you order it one day and it comes in a month or so. It's couple of years can also go. If COVID is there, even more time. So during that phase, technology will be advanced. So you need to have flexibility in these type of products. So the initial specification that you give, they will not necessarily be the final ones, because these are highly innovative industries. So yeah, that is there. Then coming to the standardized. So, as we briefly discussed earlier in this question, standardized products question, the standardized mean again you have figured everything about that product. There is not much novelty remain. There is not much ambiguity is there. So now you have to just produce it and sell it. So can you give me some example of this type of products which are under
A fan.
Okay, fans. Yeah, I mean anything that comes under FMCG sector. I hope you have heard about this. If not, this is essentially fast-moving consumer goods. For example, the soap that you use every day. Uh, Mostly in India, people usually stick with one brand which they found suitable, and over the period of time they'll change, but not on a daily basis or monthly basis. So, let's say for example of Lifebuoy, which is a mass product. It's not very high end soap. It is for everyone in India. You know uh, let's say the non-elite type of people, the majority of India in numbers. So, uh, for example, Lifebuoy, Lux, these type of soaps, there is not much to do. The only thing that they do is they just change the color and change the fragrance. Essentially, the soap, the main component of the soap is same. Only color, packaging, smell, appearance. They'll that much. They only change that much. The main product they have figured it out. This Lifebuoy Lux, they have been in India for a longer time, so they know the supply, demand, variation, etc., etc. So there is no need of novelty as long as the product is doing well. The supply is so the demand is there, expected demand. When the demand goes down, then only they need some intervention. Till then, it's fine. Let it go. However it is, let it go. So, in that case, the only objective for such product is to manufacture as quickly as possible and keep the inventory for unexpected events. So these products they come under standardized uh, categories. Also, I would say one more example is automobiles. Uh, I mean, there is an intervention there. I mean, I should not put automobiles here. I think it should be in the mixed category. That is more apt category for automobiles. What happens? Uh, let's say, let's take example of any car. Let's say Swift Desire. So this car is in India for a long time now. So the supply planner, the demand planner, which are sitting in the headquarters of this company, they have enough data to predict how much production they need to do, and accordingly they'll do the production planning, etc., etc., costing, pricing, etc., advertising, market research, all those things. And the objective for Swift Desire is to you know be available to consumer at any location in India uh, at reasonable price. So then that is one part which is like a standardized strategy. But at the same time you cannot keep the uh, same design for let's say 5-10 years, because this automobile sector is also increasing. There are this, I don't know if you have heard about them, these BS standards are there. So earlier we were on BS 2 3, now we are on BS 6. So accordingly these modifications need to be incorporated in the automobile design as well. So that becomes customized type of production thing initially. So once they'll figure it out using the job shop mechanism, that how to comply with the BS6 standards, and then they'll put into the production line, and then it becomes standardized thing. So mixed will have combination of both of them.
These specializations are based on the what you say environment conditions, no? The one you spoke about BS4, BS6 specializations.
Yeah. So see, in automobile sector, what happens, especially this petrol diesel type of uh, vehicles nowadays, the pollution standards are becoming stricter, right, because of the air quality. So when they say shift to BS6 standard, it is good for us as a citizens of the country. But for manufacturer of the car, it gives you a challenge, because now you have to reduce your emissions almost by 10 times. So you'll have to innovate, but at the same time you have to produce as well, right? The demand for Swift design is not going away. So then it becomes a mixed type of production strategy, in which you will have a production line that is going on for the Swift Desire, but you'll do some changes. You'll change the emission control systems. You'll put these catalytic converters, etc., etc., and you'll try out these things separately. So that is a characteristic of uh, customized type of. 1 second. Somebody posted a question. Himanshu. I think Himanshu left, I think. Yeah. Anyway, so is it clear, Chinmay, whatever I explained? Or are you still having some doubts?
Sir, I'm there.
You understood, right?
Yeah, sir. Perfectly.
Yeah. So I think we have discussed most of it. Let me just go through one thing. Yeah, there was one important concept. We'll stop after this, because we have covered almost all the topics that were to be covered. There is this thing called as organizational structures. Uh, so uh, there are three categories. First is line or vertical structure. Then there is a functional or horizontal structure, and then there is a project driven structure. So can any one of you tell me, what do you get, what do you understand when I say there is an organization in which vertical structure is there? What sort of things come to your mind?
Vertical structure means basically comprises of a manager, or say CEO of a company, and which receives input from the supervisor, or you can say the supervisor receives input from the other other teams, like the design team, engineering team, and all that stuff. You can say that's a kind of vertical or line type of structure. It is usually very large structure, comprises of various several units.
Mhm. Yeah, so essentially, I think you are trying to convey the correct point itself. Uh, what happens? Uh, these are, these are small businesses, not that big. I mean, they can be big, but not like HDFC or Reliance or something like that. The line of command is from top to bottom. So basically, the policy decisions or the major decisions, like expansion programs or production decisions, they will be taken care at the top level by executive, let's say general manager, or CEO or something like that, COO. And these decisions will be delegated or conveyed to the lower levels of the hierarchy. And there will be many number of layers in these type of businesses. So it is difficult for one person at the lower level to give her or his inputs in the overall decision making process. So basically, the tasks that lower level employees are supposed to do are conveyed directly to them without taking much their opinions or their concerns into mind. So that's why in this type of structures, the decisions are from top to bottom, and that is a good thing in a sense that The decisions will be according to the long-term goals of the company. But on the flip side, there is a sense of discouragement, or the morale of the employees at the lower levels is not that good, because they feel not included in the overall decision making process. So that's why there is not much motivation at the lower levels, even at the middle levels, because whatever is being told, they'll just do that. They'll not try to do anything better unless and until told. So their personal growth or the specializations, the skill specialization, those things won't develop that better, that much faster rate. Contrary, you'll have a good control if you are at the top level. You'll have very good control in your over your subordinates, and you can keep them accountable for various tasks. So this is like a there are pros and there are cons, so it's not good or bad type of strategy. Anything is I mean, it depends on what type of company is there and what type of product do they make. For example, if you are making very technologically advanced product, so you cannot rely on the inputs of the lower level employees, because they may not be that much technically advanced. In that case, the top management level people only decide what to do. So it is suitable for that type of industries, but not for all type. So then, coming back to the horizontal type of industry, here, as the name suggests, there will not be many number of layers, but there will be horizontally, there will be many teams, and many every team will have their manager, their leader, etc., etc. And then what happens, the decision making process is slow, because everyone will have their own concerns, their own priorities, and that's when the decision making will be slower. So whatever the investors or the uh, directors, the vision that they have for the country, sorry, for the organization, uh, to implement that, they'll have to convince, or they'll have to take inputs from a lot of people, and that takes time, that requires efforts. So that is the disadvantage of this type of organization. However, it is good for morale of the employees or the lower level people, because they feel involved in the decision making process. They feel heard, so they will have motivation to do their job. They'll give suggestions, improvements, and that will help for the overall development of the product. And in the meantime, the labor force will get skilled because of their motivations, and in the long run this is good. But it depends. If it is a company in which quick decisions are to be taken because of the changing marketing conditions, you cannot have this type of arrangement, this type of horizontal arrangement there. There you need line arrangement, vertical arrangement, because by the time you take decision, you may be too late. And then there is project driven structure. So as the name suggests,
Sir, functional structure is basically for small scale companies or large scale industry companies.
see, in
The
large,
horizontal one.
no. See, large scale companies will follow not any of these three things. I'll tell you what they do. These are essentially some extreme examples, and these will be more or less for smaller companies, because if the company becomes too big, I'll tell you what happens. There will be overlap. It will be combination of these three only. So that is called as matrix structure. So these are for small to medium, you can say. But if it becomes huge, none of this will be suitable for them. So this functional will be suitable for what to say. Let's say uh, there is a small company which makes some product like let's say they make a what should I give? 1 second. Let's say they make electric bikes, let's say, but they are not that big. They are a startup or something. So there they'll have one team dedicated for battery management, procuring the batteries, arranging the batteries, etc. One dedicated team will be there for marketing, sales. One will be for, you know,
DFM.
Pardon?
DFM. One team will be there.
Sorry, I could not hear you. Can you repeat?
DFM, sir. DFM.
What is DFM?
Design for manufacturing.
Oh, okay, okay. Achha. So yeah, so coming back to your question, these are, I mean, not that for bigger companies like, let's say, Infosys, TCS, these structures are not there. These are type of structures which are even like these were initially there, but now they have evolved because each one will have some pros and cons. So obviously people will want a certain solution which will only have pros, right? Nobody wants drawbacks. So anyway, then there is a product driven structure. So these are like third party companies which are supplementing some bigger company. So depending on the requirement, they'll have a project and they'll work it out the structure there. And when the project ends, the new project starts, they'll have different roles, the labor force there. So essentially, finally, what all the big companies, or eventually when the small companies become bigger, what they tend to follow is metric structure. So as the name suggests, it is a matrix, so it will have certain layers and certain vertical layers also. So it is a combination of line as well as functional, and there will be some external projects also. So they will hire some third parties. So they'll do some projects for these companies. I'll give you one example. Classical example of this will be, take any bigger company. The one that I have seen, let's say there is which company I should say. Let's take the Unilever, Hindustan Unilever. I hope you have heard about it. If not, just go back and Google it. It is a market leader in India in the FMCG sector. So what happens there is uh, they they have three distinct categories. Let's say food, toiletries, and this thing. Last one is I think beauty products. So these major three heads they have. So this resembles like three vertical structures, right? But what happens? I should actually, I'll just redraw this. That will be suitable. So what happens in food? Now they have subcategories like they'll have what do they make? Jam. They'll have what do they make? I'm forgetting. There are 4 or 5 heads. So this Kisan Jams, have you heard? Kisan Jams, Kisan Sauce. These things will come under food category. They also have salt business. So there are many things like that. So now this resembles a horizontal structure. Now, if you go down, there will be another branches, etc., etc. And again, toiletries will have bathing soap, uh, washing powder, etc., etc. Beauty will have Lakme, and many brands are there. You can Google about them. So now the vertical structure becomes a horizontal structure, and it is not like if you are working in let's say Lakme portfolio, you will be there forever. What happens after a certain number of years, you will be promoted, and you can shift to toiletries as well or food. So there is a vertical hierarchy, there is a horizontal distribution, and people can shift from one head to another head as well to develop their personal skills. And during the course of time, there will be certain projects for which they will hire some external agencies and they will help out the respective people in these heads in this company basically. So this is the real thing that you observe in big companies. It is neither line, neither functional, neither project driven. It is combination of everything, and you can understand, right, the complexity. See, Unilever itself has. When I was working there 5 years back, they had some 30-40 plants only in toiletry all over the India, and other things to you leave them. So you understand the complexity, right? You cannot keep a vertical structure there because by the time you take decision and it reaches to the 40th factory personnel working there, the decision will be changed. And you cannot have horizontal because you have 40 factories. You cannot listen to everybody, right? So what they do, they divide them according to the states. So whatever in India we have, let's say 30 around states are there. So they'll divide number of factories in states. Then they'll divide states into zones, and then the zonal director or zonal manager will, talk to the general manager of toiletry section. So now it becomes horizontal. So I think you are getting my point that it is a combination of all the complexities, and that is where this matrix structure is there. So most practical thing is matrix structure. So can you tell me what are the pros of matrix structure? Anybody? We'll stop after this. I think we have covered almost everything. Anybody? Chinmay, are you there or left? Jay Prakash?
Sir.
Yeah, so I explained you the matrix structure, right? Matrix organizational structure.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me 2-3 pros of this type of organizational structure?
Sir, the company is able to make more profits out of this structure because there are many divisions and subdivisions, or you can say their coordination is better compared to the what you say
Horizontal.
line and vertical one.
No. Horizontal is better than. Sorry. Control and coordination is better in matrix structure than horizontal structure, because in horizontal everyone will keep on saying their own.
Yes, sir. I was telling the same thing, sir. Matrix is
Yeah.
better than because it has better coordination compared to the
Yeah.
horizontal and vertical one. Like vertical
Yeah.
one is you told for small organization, so we can expect
Yeah.
that there is better coordination between the employees or workers and the boss or the manager.
So and now one more this thing is there. Main advantage is when you work in these type of organizations, you'll always feel excited to work because you'll be working in different roles, and you'll be you'll see what happens in line type of organization. If you don't like the responsibility that is given to you, it is very difficult to change it because it is a very fixed hierarchical structure. But in case of matrix or horizontal also, you can shift from, let's say you don't want to work in food industry, you want to work in beauty section, you can shift by going through the proper channels. So moral of the people is generally high motivated रहता है, and then you develop specialization in different sort of areas which you don't usually get in line type of arrangement. And there is a collaboration, information sharing is faster. These are some advantages. Now the disadvantages of matrix is uh, it is difficult to take quick decisions because there are so many layers. So decision taking becomes slightly slower as compared to line structure. But nonetheless, if you have efficient channels of communication, coordination, the decisions will be conveyed to the relevant people, but it will take some time because of the size of the manpower that you have in your organization. So these things are there, and these matrix type of organizations are susceptible. I mean, they are well equipped to deal with major changes. For example, in one particular year, let's say this beauty product business is not doing well, so that means that the whole organization will suffer. So what they can do, for that year they can book loss on beauty products, but they will manage in the toiletry or food section. So they are well diversified, so that is good in case of any adverse event. So yeah, I think more or less I have covered everything. Just let me see the questions that I was supposed to discuss. Yeah, I think I have covered most of them. Uh, 1 second. Yeah. Yeah, I think more or less it is covered, and it's almost 8:30. So, do you have anything, any question to ask from your side? Any concept that you did not understand in the course or here? You can ask me. We can discuss for some time.
No, sir, got it.
Got it. So,
Yeah, sir.
okay. Then, yeah, I think other things are, I mean, I don't know
Sir,
how much
can you give any examples of top companies in this structure, if you know?
in which metric structure.
Yes, sir. Both matrix and functional, vertical.
See, actually, bigger companies will come under metric structure only.
The
As I have
companies like
highlighted.
Godrej, na? In Matrix, you can take an example.
Yeah, yeah. Any company that you know from your childhood or for a longer time, that will be metrics, because they have become bigger and they have sustained in the market. So they will be under matrix type of structure only. So as you asked for one example, I have written it here, the example of FMCG company, Unilever. So they have three businesses, and then the three heads will disperse into multiple heads going down. You can do case study by yourself. Uh, See, good example will be uh, uh, let's say HDFC Bank, which is the biggest private bank in India. So HDFC Bank will have three, four big heads, like mutual funds will be there. Then this thing, home loans, car loans, insurance. They have HMC, this HDFC AMC is there. No? They have HDFC Life, so that comes under insurance. So there will be some 4 or 5 big heads, and then if you go down, you'll realize that under the insurance, then they have life insurance, they have health insurance, they have accidental insurance. So these types of heads will be there. So in any bigger organization, this organizational structure will become a matrix type of structure, because they are too huge. uh, when we talk about life insurance, there are also many complexities are there, right? You cannot have a simple life insurance. There are many things that are there. So if you are wondering about how this matrix structure is there, uh, you can just Google any big company in India. Let's say Reliance. Everyone knows the main business of Reliance is oil. They are, they purify crude oil and sell the petrol, diesel to India and overseas. So that is their main business, right?
Yes.
Jay Prakash, do you want to ask anything?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's okay, sir. I got it.
Yeah. See, so the Reliance is
Got it, sir.
primarily oil company, but now they have Reliance Jio, they have Reliance Retail, and I think they are into this other
Groceries.
groceries. So they are, see what happens. You should understand the logic behind why Reliance is going into different type of businesses, because they are, see, they were market leader in oil sector, right? But everybody knows oil is going to get expired in some time, and as the time progresses, the restrictions will become more and more on this type of businesses. So to diversify their business, they have started into these other ventures, geo, retail, groceries, etc., etc. You can Google, you'll get the list of all the ventures that they are doing. So now, earlier when the Reliance was only into oil business, they were like this line or vertical structure, because only Ambanis will be taking the decisions, and those will be given to the workers working in the refineries. But now they are becoming matrix structure, because they now have different businesses. So that is how it evolves. When the company becomes too big, they essentially become matrix type. You can take the example of very well, nowadays it is very well discussed everywhere, the Adani Enterprises. So you can do this case study about what was the Adani family business earlier. It was ports, this Mundra port and all. So they were market leaders in this transportation business. Now they are expanding. When they were in the transportation business, they were a line or vertical type of structure, because Adani family will take, or the board of director which will have Adani family, they will take the decisions what the company should do, and that's how the company will do. Now they are into this Adani ports, cements, infrastructure, many things they have started. So now they are matrix type of organization. So I hope this clarifies your question, Jay Prakash, or you need anything else, any more explanation?
No, sir. Thank you. You have given a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's 8:30. If nothing is there, I think we can stop. So shall we stop?
Sure, sir.
Fine, sir, according to you.
Okay. Okay. Then see you next time, and good night.
Good night, sir.
Good
Thank you.
night, sir. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Bye.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.